just like my mom, though. She was pregnant at the time, so I noticed the figure had a belly. And my mom always had her hair in a ponytail, just like the figure. The figure had perfect proportion, and as it walked past, it wasn't bobbing up and down as it should have been. It looked more like it floated past. I know. Very strange description. Okay, so let's digest for a second, because I feel like we need to digest a little bit. So, she's cleaning the sponge from the vacuum, and she calls for her mother, and what she sees, she assumes is her mom, and then when she looks at it more, it's definitely not. Ew. I don't, for people who haven't experienced, like, a mimic type entity that will replicate, like, a loved one or a friend or, somebody close that you definitely have seen before, it's scary, and that is scary. Um, ugh. Oh. Because a lot of times, like, not from my own experience, just stories that I have heard or stories I've read, like, stuff like this. Um, some people will experience, like, a mimic type entity, and they'll look exactly the same as whoever they're replicating, but maybe, like, a slight difference. Or, like, even mimicking voices, but seeing somebody who looks exactly like your mom, but not at the same time, the sound effects is all I can provide right now. I have no words to describe the that's coming out of my body. I don't like it. After I realized what happened, I shouted louder for my mom, and she wasn't responding. I left the laundry room to find out she was sitting outside on the front porch. Okay. She was never even in the house when this happened. I knew whatever was well, let's try again. I knew whatever that was tried mimicking my mom for some reason. Does anyone know if this could be some type of demon? I have no idea. I'm still, like, uncomfy. Your mom wasn't even in the house. I wonder what those, like, really are. Like, we just talk about them as being mimics. But, like, why? Why do? And, like, what are? Incomplete questions. But questions all the same. Okay, so now we're getting on to the second story. Now I'm going to tell you a story about my sister, Ariana. So one day, she was sitting in her room watching something on her iPad. She had her knees up so she could place the iPad on her lap as she was watching. As she was minding her own business, she noticed a figure standing right by the entrance of her room. She described it as very, very tall, extremely slim, with pale white skin. Its cheeks were sunken in bright white eyes. Its cheeks were sunken in bright white eyes, and the lips looked extremely red and were abnormally wide, smiling at her. I don't like that. Does anybody else visualize as they're hearing? I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. It was very still as it watched her. She immediately looked up as it added as she put her knees down. She got extremely scared and closed her eyes, trying to convince herself that there was nothing there. But as she opened them back up, the thing never left. She threw her iPad on her bed and bolted to her bedroom door. But as she was passing the thing, she said it moved beside her in a way where whenever she passed it, it made her bump into its body. She was struggling to get her door unlocked as she noticed its head was fully turned towards her, its body still facing the bed. Okay. Okay. I don't. Ugh. It already sounds horrifying. And the fact that this child is now in their room, trying to leave their room, and there's this creepy thing just standing there, and now its head is the wrong way looking at her. That is nightmare fuel. Oh. Ugh. I need a drink. Ugh. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. She immediately ran to my room, swung the door open, and just stood there looking at me. I immediately knew something was wrong. She had this look on her face. She looked like she had just watched somebody get murdered. Her face was completely pale. Her eyes were bloodshot. I immediately asked, Ariana, what happened? Are you okay? As those words left my mouth, she started sobbing, crying. Struggling to get her words out, she literally started hyperventilating in fear of what she had just seen. I came up to her, calming her down, sat her on my bed, and she told me what had happened. Chills ran down my spine. I had goosebumps all over my body. I was terrified for her. This made me angry in a way because whatever it was it trying to scare her? But my question is, for what? What does this thing seriously... Does this thing seriously not have anything better to do? That's a valid question. I'm... It's hard to imagine the little sister experiencing that and seeing that. And I don't like how it makes my skin feel reading it. I can't imagine how the user, how, what was going through their head when their sister is telling them all of this, literally probably a room away from where it happened. Oh, time to move. And hopefully leave it there, whatever it is. At this time, my sister was 12 years old, and she continued seeing disturbing things all around the house. It's like these things she sees are trying to get something out of her. Maybe her being scared gives them more power over her. I don't know what it could be. I pray to God every night about letting my sister and I have full authority and power over these entities that we see. Also, only me and my sister have seen things in our house. Nobody else. There even a time when I had a friend over and she saw something at the same time I did. But I saw the full-on figure as she only saw the shadow. So her and her little sister see stuff. She's saying she even had a friend over that seen the shadow when she was seeing the full figure. It sounds like a lot is going on in this house. Definitely a lot. But the fact that it's as far as we know, and from what I'm gathering from the next paragraph, mostly just her and her younger sister that are seeing stuff. That's horrifying. Alright, let's finish this out. I've heard things about mediums and how they can feel and see/sense spirits or demons. I was wondering if I may have something similar to that. Sometimes I'll be sitting in my room and I feel the presence around me change. Or when I walk into a room, I can tell something is off. I have seen things in other people's houses as well. I have so many stories I could share. If anybody wants to hear them, please let me know. But the fact that my mom, dad, and my older sister have never seen or experienced something in my home, except for Ariana and I, is weird. Please let me know what you guys think about everything. Thanks for reading. Yeah, so it's just her and her younger sister. Maybe she does have some medium stuff going on. I still don't like it, and I feel for her to have to experience that and not have like one of the adults also experience stuff. So now sometimes, even in my own experience, being me and my sister being able to see and experience stuff, and then having parents and adults around us that are like, I don't hear or see anything, I don't know what you're talking about. That's tough. That is tough. Let me know how you guys feel about that one. I'm uncomfy, and all I'm thinking about is that thing that the younger sister's seen in the doorway, and I don't like it. Don't like it one bit. Next one, short one. Perplexed. Sitting at my kitchen table just now, no one except my dog, home with me. It's now windy outside and there's a screen door. My front door opened without a person, like I say. There's a screen door in front of the entrance door, which didn't open, but the big door did on its own. The furnace didn't kick in, and I'm not hearing any wind. What could have caused it? So doors opening on their own. And you're home alone. What are the comments for this one? What are we gonna talk about? My childhood home had a double door with one door locked in place and the other as the main entryway, and multiple times throughout my childhood, excuse me, as my siblings and I were home alone, the door would fly open, confusing all of us. We would go back and look at the handle and the deadbolt, and 15 minutes later it would fling open again. It's locked and everything? And it's just, listen, sometimes the ghost is just trying to leave. They gotta go to work. Keep locking them in the house. Think positively. In creepy situations, listen, poor spirit just trying to go to work today, and you keep locking them in, and now they're angry that you won't let them leave. And we're just gonna hope that's what it is, because that sounds way better than the door just opening because Kiki, the ghost, is having a wonderful time messing with you. Okay, let's see. What other ones we got going on here? Can lucid dream. Add. Okay. I grew up in a dark household. This looks like a pretty thorough one. Okay. Throughout my childhood, I could recall several instances where no explanation could be derived. Here are a few. Number 1. We were watching a movie when a picture frame that was hung on the wall suddenly lifted and crashed to the floor. It had been there for years with no issues prior to this. Okay. Number 2. My older sister, 18 at the time, was home from college, about to head to work. She talks to my mother from another room, tells her, "I love you, Mom. I'm going to work. Bye." My mom replies, "I love you too. Bye." And my sister begins driving down the street when she sees our mother driving past. My sister hits the brakes. My mother recalls seeing a shocked expression, and my sister's face ran pale. My sister says, "Weren't you at the house?" My mom was coming home from the store and hadn't been home for 45 minutes. What answered you? Sounding like your mom. Oh. Another mimic situation? Hate it. Hate it. Number 3. My little sister, 10, and I, 12, were home alone, too afraid to leave the family room due to having a weird, creeped-out feeling. My father comes home from shopping and asks us why we haven't moved the cat tower from his room to the hallway, blocking the door. He never left that room. No one in our family touched it at all. Why we moved the cat tower from his room to the hallway. Okay, no one's home. Dad comes home. Cat tower has been moved. And you two haven't left the room. Huh. I don't like that either. You guys have some stuff going on in your house for sure. And I don't like that either. Number 4. My father, sister, and I are in my parents' room working on homework and work. We hear the front door handle being messed with and hear the door open. My mother and sister were on their way home from my sister's dance class as we yelled hello. Our dogs ran to the door to greet them. We hear frantic, loud footsteps all throughout the house and even outside around the house. They never responded to us. We hear the footsteps approaching the door and stop at the bedroom door. I'm already uncomfortable. Getting worried, my dad yells for my mother. Realizing something was wrong, my father grabs a weapon from his safe. He searches all throughout the house. When he leaves the room, the footsteps stop. My sister and mother text our group chat to tell us they were on their way home. There was no one else in the house. No door opening and closing, signifying a person exiting, but something entered. We're taking a moment Uh, you get a whole lot of face right now because, what? Something comes in, walks around the house, you hear it outside walking around, gets to the bedroom door, dad goes out, footsteps up, you never hear it leave, but you heard it audibly enter. Hate it. Very much hate it. Very uncomfy. Ah. Why? Number 5. Well, it's not gonna be any better. Seeing my sister walk past me in the kitchen as I prepared for my lunch for the next day. I asked her if she wants me to make her some as well. She doesn't respond as she enters the family room. Confused, I walk after her. She wasn't in the family room. I enter her bedroom down the hall and I ask her why she ignored me just then. She tells me she hasn't left her room in over 20 minutes as she was doing homework. I could feel the blood draining from my face. Yeah. Valid response. How did y'all live in that house? Holy crap. I've lived in houses where stuff is like moved, creaking footsteps, sounds of stuff running. I never experienced mimicking audibly or physically in any way, and be cool to never. That's scary. I don't like it. And to have a whole conversation with what you think is your sibling to realize that they have not left their room. Who were you talking to? That would be constantly running through my head. Who was I just talking to? And why did they look like whoever I thought they looked like? And I hate it. Our home does have a dark history. I found a calendar shoved in the floorboards from the 1930s which mysteriously disappeared. Drug lab in the early 2000s. The couple that lived there died in a police chase. Even our grandmother said we would claim there was a man watching us in her home bedroom, which creeped her out due to the fact that a man had died in her bedroom before she moved in. She ended up passing away in that very spot. Oh. So there's like trauma, negative energy, people passing away in the house, mimicking. That's a lot of energy, and that's a lot of things going on. Oh. That's rough, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Posted an image a few days ago of what I thought was a paranormal sighting. Turns out it was not. Wow, that's a zoom. That's a aggressive zoom we got going on. I also thought that was a figure. It's a statue. Anything in the windows? Don't see anything. Anything in the windows? Okay. Turns out it was not. This is tiled. My pizza box duplicated. I don't know about you guys, but I'm interested. What happened? Tell me about it. A few years ago, me and my brother would have a fun night when my parents were out doing gigs or band practice. In my town, my mom and dad were pretty well-known music artists and are often gone. So when they leave around Friday, we used to buy us both a pizza and some soda to snack on while watching movies / playing games. One night I was casually making a Wild Mike's Ultimate Pizza for the both of us. To understand what happened, you need to know what the pizza box was like. It was a normal Wild Mike's, but with a dent at the bottom right of the pizza box. Listen, bear with me. Reading. And some of the artwork on the box was ripped off. The pizza was fine. I opened the box, took the pizza out, and put it in the oven. I then threw the box in the recycling bin, and the rest is not important. Just some fun times. I feel like, yeah. Listen, you say it's not important. It's probably not, but it sounds like it was. Later that night, before I had to go to bed, I had to clean the kitchen. This is normal. Me and my brother had a chore to do before heading to bed every night. There we go. As I went to clean the kitchen, I noticed something weird. The pizza box was back on the kitchen counter. I did not think much of it, but I picked it up and I was about to toss it away. But when I was looking down in the recycling bin, I saw the exact same pizza box still in there. It has the same dent, same tears, same open side, everything. I told my parents about it, and they were as weirded out as I am. This is just a strange story from back in the day. So only the box got replicated, you didn't get a second pizza, which would have been the exciting part of it, but you just got a second pizza box. Also just as creepy and just as weird. Uh, Nightmare of two entities. Lights. Add. Oh. Sounds like a good one to wrap us up today. Okay. This is a long one, too. And it's italicized. It's fancy. Okay. The time I encountered a demon. Okay, this is a long one, but here you go. Enjoy. Everybody got snacks? Everybody in the back? Snacks? Blanket? Lights off? Here we go. I was 7 or 8 years old at the time. It was around midday, and one of my sisters was at her friend's house, while the other was in her room. My dad was outside in the backyard mowing the lawn, while me and my mom were in the workout room in our basement. I already love this. Very descriptive. Good story. My basement is average sized, and all the floors are carpet, and our basement stairs go straight down. As soon as you get to the bottom of the stairs, to the left is the workout room, and to the right is the rest of the basement. There is also a corner leading to the storage room.
Why don't you guys come over by Discord? Over at Discord, we talk about all things spooky. In the Discord with you guys, we have community events that go on. We sit down, we do meditation sessions, past life regressions, and everything else like that. We also like to share spooky stories with each other. We have a cool tier system where you can become a uh, poltergeist, mimic, spirit, stuff like that, and is a great way if you have any ideas that you want us to talk about, you can reach out to us.
Yeah, and we have all of our socials available. You can check via our link tree, where you'll find our Instagram, Patreon account, TikTok account. We have a Twitter. Um, a lot of our behind the scenes stuff is posted there. Some of our exclusive content. We have little fun games that we play. Our Patreon holds a lot of our behind the scenes stuff. Some of our exclusive investigations. I write spooky stories on there that'll keep you up at night. Grim loves those.
Fuck you. Yeah, Patreon is where you can get behind the scenes stuff. Over on Twitch, you can watch us play some spooky games. Which right now every Thursday night I am in the middle playing Afterfall Insanity, which the story is finally starting to make sense to me. I'm starting to get into the point. It's a really good action packed game. It's got at first confusing story, but now it's starting to actually develop and become a really good game. And Ray is playing No Idea yet on Tuesdays.
Oh, I actually know. I am going to be starting Tuesday a game that I love a lot that I'm going to be playing solo. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be extended. We're gonna be playing this for a hot minute because there's so much shit to unpack in this game, and I'm so excited, especially with the full release of it. I'm going to be getting back into 7 days, but I'm gonna be running it solo.
Ooh,
It's
seven
gonna be
days
fun.
solo. So you
Yeah.
guys can watch it over on twitch.tv/ beyond underscore the shadows. So check us out over there. And then what else do we have, Ray?
Aside from our really dope socials, we have our merch store.
Our merch store. Oh, how
Mm-hmm.
could I forget about the merch store? We have
Yeah.
through Streamlabs for the time being. We're selling some merch on there to kind of just let you guys have a little bit of merch from us. But in the near future, probably starting out the next year, we will be doing merch handmade by the one and only Ray Renee, which the quality is absolutely amazing. There's secret merch that you guys can only get when you do a live investigate, not live, but in-person investigation with us at a haunted location. So if we're in your vicinity in your neck of the woods and there's a haunted location that we're at, reach out to us, let us know. We will let you guys know either in Discord, Twitter, Instagram what haunted locations we're getting ready to go to. If you want to join us on the investigation, you're more than welcome to join, and you'll get a cool piece of merch for free for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah,
last
which is
ones
really
that we
exciting.
got was Chef's Kiss, fucking amazing. It says "Boo bitch, I'm a ghost" on the front, and on the back is the new logo that I personally had someone that I know and trusted a lot to make the art, and she fucking killed it. Shout out to you, Kendra. You're amazing.
It looks amazing. I actually just found mine. It's in it's in here. I just don't have enough time to pull it out. So it's in here. Um and then lastly, hi. I'm a small business owner. I do have my own store. I make my own crafts. You can check me out at www.occultwonder.com. I make occult goodies, bookish treasures. I make some witchy stuff for beginner witches into intermediate witchcraft. I actually have some stuff in the works. So if you go to my website, I have a coming soon tab on my main page to show you what I'm working on. I do enjoy it. I love it. I love crafting. I love people getting excited about the things that I make. So definitely check that out. It's my baby.
All right, back to the episode, you guys.
But while my mom was exercising on the treadmill, I was on the ground showing her my new toys my grandmother got me. She ended up getting off the treadmill and asked me if I would get her some water from upstairs. So, of course, I went to get her some water. As I was exiting the workout room and I closed the door, I looked up, and right by this pole we have in the basement, there was a super tall, disfigured shadow that slowly walked past me and walked in the direction of the storage room. I was terrified, valid, and ran up the stairs and never got my mom's water. She later came upstairs and asked why I hadn't come back downstairs with her water, so I told her what happened, and of course she didn't believe me and told me it was my imagination, so I forgot about it and moved on. Nothing really happened for a few months until this one day. So I was sleeping in my older sister's room, and she woke up around 6 to get ready for school. It was also very dark outside since it was the winter. I ended up just going back to sleep. She ended up waking me up around 7 to start getting ready for school. At that time my school started around 8:30 while my sister's school started around 7:30. So she woke me up, I left her room to go get dressed, and I immediately froze with fear. Just looking at this thing that was in my room, I could tell whatever it actually was, it wasn't good. It had its own presence in the worst way. Okay. Anyways, my door was wide open, and right against the wall closest to the end of the door is where it stood. I don't want to give it actual pronouns, lol. It appeared like a normal person, but I could tell it wasn't. It was breathing really heavily, like it was running away from something. It was wearing a long white dress with pretty lace on it. I specifically remember it having a pretty flower headband, something you would imagine an angel wearing. I also remember it wearing a tiny silk bracelet on its right wrist. I remember this like it was yesterday. It had pretty long curly brown hair with huge white wings on its back. Now I know what you might be thinking. That doesn't sound like a demon at all. But whatever it was, I am telling you that it had an evil presence, especially when it looked at me. We just stared at each other for what seemed like 5 minutes, but in real time it was probably around 3 seconds. Something strange that. I skipped a line, hello? Something strange that happened. There we go. Right after it was done staring at me, like you should be the one who's actually scared, it seemed like it was supposed. Like I wasn't supposed to see it or something because it immediately ran into my room and then I couldn't see it anymore. I ran to my older sister's room and started crying. I told her what happened and she obviously didn't believe me. So she went inside my room and said, "See, look, there's nothing here." But I know what I saw, and when this incident happened, I decided not to tell anyone because I knew they wouldn't believe me. A month later, my aunt visited. While she and my mom were setting up mouse traps, my mom asked me to grab candy from my room. I panicked and said no, not wanting to go back in there. My aunt noticed and asked me what was wrong. I told her everything and she said, "Don't be scared, you saw your angel." But if that was an angel, why did it run away? I still see terrifying things inside my house. I know for a fact whatever I saw, it didn't have good intentions. I have plenty more personal stories that I would love to share if anybody wants to hear them. Thanks for reading. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. Haha. My first question would be, do we actually think that was her guardian angel or an angel in general? Like she was saying, she got a bad feeling looking at it. Like she just got a very unsettled feeling, which makes me think maybe not. But who knows? Maybe it was. It's. The paranormal is such a. Like, never ending question of, like, what I just seen, did I actually see it? If I did see it, what was it? Was it real? Was it paranormal? What does this mean? Like, there's so many questions and no answers at all because it's so out of our realm and how, I would be in a constant state of, was that really an angel that I seen? Or was that something scarier? And her being horrified, like she said, it was a month in between when it had happened and when she was asked to go in there, and she was still uncomfortable, which is totally understandable. Um, oh, it's such an unknown, and like it's a little exciting, kind of, getting everybody's different experiences and stuff because you see different sides of this huge thing that we definitely do not understand. Um, but it's such a huge unknown thing and so many unanswered questions and so many different, like, very different experiences from, like, before somebody, their front door opening on its own to seeing a creepy thing whose head spun around backwards and is now looking at you a completely different direction. That's horrifying. To seeing what visually looks like an angel standing in your bedroom, obviously terrified about something. There's such a vast array of experiences, and like it's horrifying but also exciting, if that makes sense. So definitely along those lines, check out our social medias. Message us on any of them. We have our link tree that gives you good access to all of them. Join our Discord. We talk about the stuff in there. If you have experiences, share it with me. Share it with both of us. Share it with, the whole community. Let's talk about it. Let's deep dive into it. Like I said, there's such a huge vast of different experiences. And who knows what you've experienced. Maybe one other person, several other people have also experienced. Just being able to relate about the strange things that is paranormal. Let's talk about it. Tell me your stories. Tell me your experiences. Have you lived in a haunted house? Have you experienced shadow people? Have you been to haunted locations and you've had crazy things happen to you? Let's talk about it. That being said, thank you for hanging out for my little solo one-off episode. I hope you enjoyed the few stories we talked about, and I definitely look forward to doing more deep dives on Reddit. There's a lot of very interesting things on here. There's a lot of different paranormal related topics throughout Reddit. You know, even if like one day we feel like doing something a little less spooky, there's a lot of things on Reddit, experiences and different points of view we could talk about. So thanks for hanging out. I look forward to seeing you guys next time, whether it is another solo episode, or we have our normal podcast episode. We do still have a location to talk about that we do hope to head to once we get 50 subs, which please spam us, spread us out to people you know if they're into paranormal, spooky stuff, haunted stuff. Let's get 50 subscribers. We'll plan our next haunted location, and keep going. Thanks for hanging out, Spooky Fam. I will see you guys next time. And if you want to see us during the week, we do stream on Twitch twice a week. You can come check us out there, hang out. We play horror games or chaotic games with friends. Until then, peace out. Stay spooky.